Howdy there, young'uns. Silver Mongoose here with another episode of My Take. And as you can see by the title, today's topic is video game music. Does it count as music? Now, this may seem like an odd topic because I'm sure that many of you have already made up your mind about this, but maybe some of you haven't, maybe some of you have never thought about it. Maybe you guys just haven't really made up your mind yet. So, before I start, I'm going to mention that I don't mean like Guitar Hero or Rock Band music, because those are games built around music, not music built around games. Now, if you're like me, you might have about a third of the music on your computer as video game music. You might have a couple soundtracks, like my girlfriend has the Legend of Dragoon soundtrack CD. And you might have experienced something along the lines of people telling you, well, why don't you have real music? That music doesn't count, and just because they've never heard it before. So the question stands, does it really count as music? And I'm going to say, of course, yes. But I'm not just going to say that, I'm going to give some reasons. First off, it is inspiring. There are so many bands around the world, and so many people that play video game music. For example, just any Eskimos or Neskimos, NMN Gucci, The Advantage, The Runaway Five, Proto Men, The Red Wings, just to name a few, including many bands here on YouTube. And many people have been inspired to play video game music. Some people started playing music because of video game music. Myself, I used to play a lot of violin, and I played a lot of video game music. My girlfriend, she plays flute, and she spends a lot of the time, whenever she plays it, playing video game music. And it also inspires so many people to remix them, to redo them, to give their own take. OC Remix, Overclocked Remix, is a great website for this. Just full of remixes. And there's also inspires people to do orchestrated takes on this. Some examples are Mario and Zelda Big Band Live, Video Games Live, Final Fantasy Distant Worlds, I think it's called, Smashing Live, and concerts by orchestras like the Tokyo Philharmonic Orchestra. And they're all so amazing and so beautiful, and even if you've never heard that theme before or that song, it's still wonderful to you. And also, a lot of video game music, particularly the older stuff like NES or the Sega Master System, were done with so little. And they came out with such amazing things, like Mega Man has amazing soundtracks. Mario, the original Mario, Outrun, all these were done with so little. And they came out with such amazing things. Another point is, well, before you guys say, but Silver Mongoose, it's just nostalgia. Whenever you listen to music like that, it's just nostalgia. It doesn't mean it's great. But let me stop you right there. I have heard so many songs from video games that I've never even played before. For example, Snake Eater from Metal Gear Solid. It's a great song. I've never played that game, but it's still amazing. Some songs from Outrun for Sega Master System. Space Harrier. The theme from Space Harrier is just amazing. And my girlfriend, I burnt her the Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicle soundtrack, and she loves it. She doesn't like that game. I think she saw me play it once, and it's still amazing music. And concerts, like I mentioned before, like orchestrated concerts, people can go to those concerts and not like video game music, or you can go there and not like orchestrated music, and that event will bring those two people together, and they will all have an appreciation for video game music afterwards. You don't have to have heard the song before. It doesn't have to be nostalgia. You can hear music from a video game that you've never played before and still think it's wonderful, even without the game. And some games right now have like full orchestrated music or bands working for them, which means that music is really no different. Some music is really no different from quote-unquote real music that you have heard on the if you heard it on the radio, you wouldn't know the difference. Video game music is also like designed to be catchy or heard over and over again without ever tiring of it. Some songs are just so timeless. And you can listen to a song you've been listening to for 20 years, and you won't be sick of it. Or you can listen to a song that you've never heard before from the 80s, like some of the Outrun music for the Sega Master System, which I started listening to. I haven't played that game, but to me, I can listen to that music, and it will be fantastic. And which is more than what I could say for some songs that were made in the 80s, some that you used to hear in the radio. It also excels so well in portraying emotion or a certain situation. Like whenever you listen to a song, like for example a battle theme, or a song that's meant to portray sadness, you know what that song is trying to portray whenever you listen to it. And it can just instill such emotion inside you. And I'm going to give you an example. The other day I was listening on my iPod, and I got to the university early, and I walked into the lecture hall. It was completely empty because I got there early, and it was completely silent. And on my iPod I was listening to a wonderful orchestrated version of Kakariko Village from Legend of Zelda: Ocarina of Time. And that song made that experience, just walking into an empty lecture hall, it made it wonderful. Suddenly walking in that lecture hall, all empty, was almost beautiful. It was like a surreal experience. And I know that may sound really weird to you guys, because it sounds weird to me even now that I'm saying it. Because it was weird. But I don't think I could listen to a normal song that you would like hear on the radio and have that kind of emotion. It was so calming and wonderful. And I don't think that would happen with quote-unquote real music. So, to me, yeah, it's music. And it does count. I don't see how something so wonderful, inspiring, and that can stir so much emotion, it can bring people together, it can be catchy and timeless, often while being so complex and sometimes so simplistic. It's nothing short of being art and music. And it's just wonderful. So that's my opinion. That's my take. So I ask you, listeners or viewers, do you think that video game music counts? If it does, why? If it doesn't, why not? And tell me some of your favorite soundtracks and why. Some of mine are Chrono Trigger for the Super Nintendo. The soundtrack is years and years ahead. They did so much with it. Donkey Kong Country, also an amazing one. Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles, I think, is one of the greatest soundtracks out there. It's wonderful. Legend of Zelda: Ocarina of Time, Super Mario RPG, Knights for the Wii has an amazing soundtrack, and the Mega Man games on the NES, amazing soundtracks, especially for the NES. They're so, it's very complex and just really gets you going and really gets you to go around and wanting to shoot things. It's fantastic. So those are some of my favorite soundtracks. What are some of yours? Or if you don't like video game music, you obviously won't have any favorite soundtracks. So before I ramble on too much more, I'm just going to say thanks for listening. Please give a comment or video response or something to my 2 questions. And remember, classic gaming never gets old.